a person who does not learn AI is the one who is going to lose his job. Cutting down the quantity survey hours of doing manually by at least 70%. So AI is basically a new safety harness.
Hello friends, welcome to the show. Today we are going to talk with Syed Hassan Bhai on the topic of AI in project controls in construction industry. And we have a special guest, Syed Hassan Bhai, for this. He is the founder of Kronos PMC, a company that guides big projects. And these projects are in oil and gas, infrastructure and energy. Syed has over 20 years of experience. He has helped manage projects worth millions of dollars. Now he is helping teams using artificial intelligence. It includes tools like artificial intelligence for planning and design. Syed is also a well-known trainer and a speaker. He connects business plan with work on the ground. Syed, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Dilshad. It's good to speak to you.
Thank you. My first question with you, Mr. Syed, is that what first convinced you that construction was ready for artificial intelligence?
Thank you, Mr. Dilshad. As you know, I have a civil engineering background. So basically, I have been, and as you rightly mentioned, I've been training multiple customers across the Middle East. So I also run what we call risk management workshop. To take a specific case, when we run risk management workshops, we run with what we call as scheduled risk models. So what I have noticed is there's lots of data that's available that can be retrained by the customers, and basically which will show you historical progress snapshots. So normally what happens in risk management is we run something called Monte Carlo simulation, which helps you to predict what happens to your project if those risks happen. So what I've seen is when we train those models, basically we were able to mirror reality within plus or minus 5%. That accuracy shift signaled that construction data is finally good enough and AI could move from research and development to what we call return of investment. So I hope I've answered you.
My second question on this topic is that where are the owners and contractors already seeing this quick ROI which you are talking about from artificial intelligence in today's world? Can you please put some light on this?
Sure, I will let you know. So basically, as you know, most of the projects, what do the contractors or owners follow? Basically, there are three important components. So the first component is normally the time, the second is the cost, and for contractors it's basically, and for owners it's basically you need to know when the contractors submit an invoice, are there any issues with the invoice? So let me explain to you in step-by-step manner. So in AI, what happens is in the time aspects, normally you try to find out what are the scheduled slippage alerts. So what machine language models allow you to do is they allow you to flag out at least 4 to 6 weeks earlier than the traditional earned value management models. Most of the people, they talk about earned value management, talking about scheduled slippages, but machine language models are able to do it at least 4 to 6 weeks from what I've seen earlier. So that's the first aspect. The second aspect is normally what happens is when you are constructing a project, you refer to what we call drawings. So drawings basically have what we call quantities. So artificial intelligence allows you to do takeoff from PDF drawings, from BIM files, which allows the cutting down the quantity survey hours of doing manually by at least 70%. So this is again the second great advantage which owners and contractors are seeing. The third important advantage which mostly owners are seeing is they allow you to direct invoice fraud. So basically, they help you to mine spotlights on duplicates and any out of scope line items that are happening. So this basically is around 1 to 2% of the annual spend of the owners.
Okay.
So I hope I made.
Yes. So how can this predictive analytics flag schedule or cost overruns before they snowball?
Good question. So basically, as I mentioned to you, when we talk about predictive analysis, it's about predicting your time, your cost, and other things. So basically, what we do in predictive analysis is we have four data streams. We basically feed the models the baseline versus the update schedules. We also submit the cost curves, resource histograms, site weather information. And this allows you to basically get an output and get you a probability of delay with focuses at the individual work breakdown structure levels of the project. So how we basically predict it is anything that is above 0.6, it triggers a what if scenario where we can basically run a mitigation workshop and find out what are the options by which we can remove the delay or the cost overrun. So predictive analysis help you to do that in a very simple manner.
That's great. That's great. So, can you give me any real-world example where computer vision or drones is changing the game on site? Do you have some examples?
Yes, and there are many examples now currently happening, and I've also seen it basically that. So what we have seen is in one of the scenarios is on a solar farm. Basically, the stakeholders of the project, they ran drones over the project. So what drones basically help you to do is when they are doing the piling, they help you to count how many pile caps have been done and whether they were matching to the schedule, the baseline schedule. And so what this helps you to do is it helps you to monitor the progress on the project, which basically helped the drop down time from 2 days to 2 hours. So the EPC contractor has avoided even a claim of around $1.8 million dollars in liquidated damages exposure because the variance of this surfaced earlier, at least 6 weeks earlier in time. So this was a real world scenario. This has been documented and it's available for people to read.
Oh, thank you. One question is that is coming in my mind is that generative AI is growing fast, as we all know. How can it help with design, planning, or handling claims in construction industries? Can you please put some light on this?
Great, I'll give you for both. So basically, talking about generative AI in design iterations, we all know we have got Revit, which is where your models are stored. So basically, general AI plugins for Revit generate what we call options that meet code, and which also allows you to find out if there is whether you can cut steel tonnage by things. And in one of the use cases I've seen is steel tonnage was cut by around 12% just by using generative AI and the Revit models, which help you to predict those things. Second thing that you asked is about the claim narratives. So LLMs, LLMs basically stands for local language models, like your Chat GPT and all those things. Now they help you to draft delay analysis report narratives by summarizing the critical path method windows and the corresponding. They help the planners to save lots of days in typing those information into wordy reports. So they help you to do your task quicker in earlier in time. So the claim narratives can be sorted out by using LLMs.
Okay. Sayed, the one thing is that good data is a big challenge. We all know this. How can teams start with the small steps and still make AI work using these, whatever data we have?
Great. Data is the key for any analysis. As we say, garbage in, garbage out. So basically having a good data. So what we recommend is having the most structured data. Normally the structured data could be your time data, which are your schedules, or your cost data, which is over there. And you basically can have a single source data mart, run small models. So basically we can classify the scheduled slippages, publish bi-weekly dashboards that leaderships can see and take proactive decisions based on the data. So success breeds better data, discipline for the next use case. So that's how I would say. So data is an important component.
Great.
So you start small and then build based on those use cases.
That's great. For a mid-sized contractor, what does a 12-month AI adoption roadmap look like? What do you think on this?
Oh, great. I would like to break down into 4 quarters of how a small contractor can do it. They can, in quarter 1, what they can do is they can start out with predictive schedule analytics. That's what I spoke about earlier in my first question to you. So basically, they can start up on one flagship project and find out how time delays are happening. In second quarter, they can start off with by using computer vision for progress tracking. As I mentioned to you earlier, again, progress tracking helps you to track. So they can use drones for tracking and reporting the progress. In quarter three, they can basically roll out AI augmented takeoff and estimation. Again, we spoke about how AI is helping in taking out quantities from your PDFs, your drawings, etc. So step by step, this process. So once they have this, they basically have an AI playbook. So quarter flow 4 would basically, they have the AI playbook available with them. Now they can scale it to 4 to 5 projects, which they started off with one project in quarter 1, quarter 2, and quarter 3. They can scale it and then make it as a center of excellence for owning the governance of the projects.
Oh, great. One question which I am asking with every expert is that some people worry that AI will take jobs. How do you explain that it can help workers instead of replacing them in construction industry?
Oh, on the contrary, I would say a person who does not learn AI is the one who is going to lose his job. So basically, what I would say is AI is basically a new safety harness. It removes drudgery and prevents costly mistakes. It allows engineers to focus on creative problem solving. So basically, if an engineer starts using AI, he can start to be more creative than doing repetitive tasks and leave the repetitive task for AI to manage it. So early pilots pair one human with one algorithm. So productivity actually jumps from 25 to 30%, but the headcount still remains the same, and people shift to focus on high value tasks and on being more creative in how they do their job. So I would strongly recommend people not to think AI as a problem for them. They basically need to look at AI and try to start learning AI.
Okay. Next question is that which KPIs should executives track to prove AI's value in construction? What do you think on this?
Okay, very good. I'll talk about 3 to 4 KPIs. So the first KPI is the predictability index. Predictability index basically is you focus on what did you originally plan with what is actually happening. So you compare your baseline with your actual. So the very first index, what I call is as baseline versus actual finished variance. The difference between the baseline, the original plan, and the actual plan. That's the first index. The second index is I'll normally talk about cost. So it's about cash flow reliability. Normally, when you do a project, you need to know how is your cash flow available or not. So a standard deviation on the monthly spend is what I call cash flow reliability. The third index, what I call is for contractors to know what is the rework rate. Where they need to know what is the productivity norms that are adopting and what will be needed. And the fourth, I would say, is the site report cycle time. So that will be the fourth KPI that the contractors, the owners needs to track of how progress is being reported. Because the more early you report progress, it's easier to predict easily what could be the delay on your project. So we target at least a 20% improvement by using all of these 4 KPIs.
My last question to you is that looking 5 years out, which emerging AI technologies will matter most on the job site in construction industry?
Oh, great question. Okay, so what I'm seeing the trend happening is we are going to have what we call multimodal large language models, which basically allow you to ingest drawings, text, voice, all in a single prompt. So that's the first thing that I'm seeing that's going to happen in a couple of months or in a year or two. Second thing is basically people will be focused to work on what we call edge AI on variables, where they can basically have real-time safety alerts. So basically, you can get to know immediately by those variables if there are any safety issues and that thing. And the third important thing I would say is casual AI toolkits, which will basically help the engineers or the foremans or the people at the site to know why a delay is happening, not just that it will happen. So this will basically help you to infuse on a daily basis the workflows. So that there will be apps available which will see. So in a 5-year horizon, I see most of the people going towards the AI aspect and using all of those things.
Thanks, Sayed.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sayed, for all the information. This was my last question, and I'm really thankful for you to give me time to discuss some of the aspects of construction industries and how.
Thank you, Dr. Dilshad. Thank you for having me, and it was a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And we will meet, inshallah, again to discuss more with your expertise.
Inshallah.
Thank you.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much.